Hey folks, it's Lev, back again with 3-minute discussions. Let me set up my timer, we can start going with the next topic. Okay, so in this one, I wanted to talk about starting something new. I used to be very scared of, starting anything new, like making a film or like starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel or anything, or doing taekwondo, because even before I started, I had the thought in my head that you're not going to be good at this. But now that I look back at it, it's illogical and it doesn't help, because everyone who's an expert or professional in their field right now started exactly as where you are with wanting to start something new. No one comes out of the womb being an expert in whatever they're good at now. It's scary to go out of our comfort zone, but in my experience, it's definitely been rewarding in the long run. Just thinking back to when I started things, and I don't have any, solid advice, but just to take the first step in doing it. Take a step. Because just thinking about, I want to start this, it's a good starting point, but the first action we take in starting something new, that's gonna lead us do that we just started out doing. And obviously it's not an overnight thing either. It's not a one day I know everything and I'm an expert thing. It's not how it works. And learning anything takes time, patience, perseverance, and self-discipline. We're not gonna get results on day one. It doesn't happen. It's like when I started boxing 5 months ago, my hand speed was relatively slow. And now it's training over 5 months, it's significantly improved. But that didn't happen in one day. It happened over 5 months, training 3 times a week. And of course, there are barriers, there are challenges that are gonna arise. Inevitably will. Failure is not a bad thing, and it's okay to fail. Failing teaches us important lessons about what we did wrong and what we did right, and how we can take the lessons from mistakes we made and improve it in the next time we try. I haven't really publicly said this, but I actually failed my short film attempt. It's not Silence, the one that's on my channel. It's an LGBT short film that I planned at the end of 2017 and worked on it summer of 2018. I failed that miserably. I didn't even get to filming. I didn't get to filming at all. It was way too ambitious of a project, and I just got too excited, and then it just all came crashing down. And then it was discouraging, really. It was really discouraging. But then I tried again at the end of 2018, being more realistic this time with, writing my script based on like the number of people I have helping me, which is no one. I made that film all by myself, and like the resource I have, locations, whatnot. And then I succeeded on my second try. So failure, that had I not failed that first film attempt, I wouldn't have been able to successfully make my first one that I released. Yes, another important point. We don't have to have all the answers to start something. We don't have to know everything to start. that's why we're a beginner, and that's okay. And we can learn and build our knowledge over time and get better over time. I started filmmaking knowing nothing. I never went to film school. I started a podcast knowing nothing. I didn't know how to make podcasts or how the whole thing worked. I never knew how to make YouTube videos when I started. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to video edit. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know anything about rule of thirds or anything like that. I knew nothing. But I started. You just have to start somewhere. Just start. The earlier you start, the more progress you can make as time goes on. The longer you wait to start, the more time that's passed without you developing your skills over time. It's like if you start now, September 2020, and then 3 months time, you're much better than you are when you started this month, compared to if you just wait into the end of the year to start. 3 months has passed and no progress has been made. All progress counts, whether it's big or small, but the first thing that has to be done is to step and take action. And it's starting. It doesn't have to be something big and fancy schmancy and whatever the world tells you what success looks like. Everyone's starting point is different, and how you start looks different for everyone, and that's okay. I don't compare myself to others anymore. I see people have make great films, and I'm like, obviously I'm not going to be at that level because they've spent more time in the field, and they have different training to me. There's so many variables to consider. It's not fair for us to compare ourselves to others. The only fair comparison is comparing you to who you were yesterday or 3 months ago or last year. That's the only fair comparison. You never know what's going to happen if you just give it a go. It's usually not as horrible as we think it is. And over the course of lockdowns here in Melbourne, I've really changed my perspective and mindset on I just lost my train of thought. Oh yes, I've really changed my perspective on seeing my perspective on things going wrong. So instead of what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens if I do this or take this step or make this decision, I changed it to just doing it and then dealing with whatever happens, if it happens afterwards, rather than ruminating, because it doesn't help me. It drains my energy. It drains the energy that I could be using to do something good and productive and creative, rather than what if. That wasn't 3 minutes, but I felt like this was an important topic to talk about in depth and share my experiences.